Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Usman and welcome to my channel Usman Code. Today we will start working with WinForms, and why is that? To learn about different controls WinForms has, how to implement those controls in context of actual applications with examples. So for that one I will be creating, again we will be using the same Tech and Talk C# repository. This is available on GitHub and I will be sharing its URL in the video description. You can clone it and use it wherever you want. And I will be adding a new project. Currently I have .NET 8 installed, and with .NET 8 we have option of creating WinForms with .NET WinForms application, and I also have the old .NET framework version installed as well. So you might have seen two templates if you have both the frameworks installed. For describing what is the difference between .NET framework and the .NET, I will create a separate video on that one, but for now the summary is .NET framework was the old version of .NET. It was stopped till 4.8. Till that point it was only window based and was not cross platform. After that .NET Core 1.0 was initiated, and till now we are at .NET 8. So from .NET Core 1.0 till now, this is cross-platform version of .NET, and we should be using for all the new applications. So we will be following .NET Windows Form application, not the legacy one. So let me create that one, and I will name it WinForm underscore controls. Then we can save it inside WinForm folder in the project directory. And yes, I will follow .NET 8.0, which is latest version from .NET. And today's agenda is to create a simple WinForm with a text field and a button. And we will learn how to read text from text field, and when we click a button we how we can display that value on the same WinForm. So we'll be following the same template, and this is our default form WinForm from this template. And in the Visual Studio you will see the tools option as well, and if you can't see from here you can go to the tools and find that option in that list. So I have tools, I will click that one, and it will expand with all the available controls we have for WinForms. So I will be copying TextBox from here, and I can place it here inside my WinForm like this. So this is the input field in the WinForm, and I will find a button and will drag it here. So this is the button, and I will rename it. For the properties we can go to the text option and we can change it, like let's say I can name it login, right? We can do the alignment as well, and also for the text field we should ideally add a label as well to show what is this field for. So I can again go to its properties and change the text to user email. All right. So we can align that button here along with this text field, so it looks better here. So now we have that text field and the login button, and the best practice is as soon as we drag those control into our WinForm, just go to its properties and change its name. By default it will keep adding text box 1 2 3 4. It's not a good naming convention because we will be using these names to attach the events with those fields or with those controls, or accessing properties of those controls inside our control. So we can name it email underscore text box just to recognize inside code what was the control name. And again for the login, by default it was button 1, we can name it login underscore btn. It's up to you how you want to name those controls and what are the naming conventions you guys are following, but I usually follow this one, like the actual purpose of that control and underscore the type of that control, its shortcut. So login button will be named as login underscore btn. All right, to attach a event we can just double click that control and that will add the click event. The other way is just go to the properties, and here there's an icon, the second last one. We can click that one, and these are the events against your selected control. And you can see there are a lot of events, and within those we have that click as well. So when we select this one, and next to this name we have a drop down. Here we can either select the already implemented events, or we can just name it and hit enter. It will create an event for us. So in that case, because this is a brand new template, we can just name it login underscore click. Right. So again, the naming conventions are very important because there will be a lot of events. So it's good you follow same naming convention throughout your code base. So for the events, I am following the name of the control underscore the name of the event. So that is now login underscore click. So let me hit enter, and it's now created for me an empty event here. Okay, and to see it's working, I can just add a debug point here, and I will set that as startup project as well. And let's try this out. And first time it will take some time because it's building the project in the background, and it's creating those DLLs, debug DLLs for us. Why debug? Because this you can see in your Visual Studio by default the debug option is selected. You can select the release as one. They both have their own purposes. For the development perspective, we should have the debug selected while developing our application. Okay, so this is now running, and this was our text field, and this was our button. So as soon we can type in that text field anything, and we can see how the button is behaving when we hover over the mouse on that button. And as soon as we click on this one, we have controlled back to that login underscore click function, which is our event in this case. So at that point, we can do couple of things. We can see who is the sender of that event, and what is the control text, and what are the control properties for this case. We can explore these later on. For now, just to show you that we have a text field and a button configured, what we can do is we can add another label to see the result of that click event. For that one, let me close the debug session and go to the form again, and we can have a copy of this label, and we can do is we can place it right here, right? And again, we will go to its property, and we will name it. What was the name of that label? We can double check that one as well. It was label one. Ideally it should be user email underscore lbl. Lbl stand for label. And for the other label, we can name it result or click result underscore lbl. Okay, by default we can remove the text from here because we want to only display as soon as we click on this one. Just double click on login button, we are back to that event, and here we can access our controls by their names as I described at the very beginning of the video. To access that, we will write this dot, and the suggestions will start appearing. So this dot, what was the name of the text field? User or email text box, right? This dot email text box dot text dot to string. This is the way to access the input value from that text field. Let's save it to user email variable, and we can display that input to that result label. For that one, we can use result click result lbl dot text is equal to user email. So let me run this application once more, and now if I type something like usman@gmail.com, or now if I type here usmancode@gmail.com and click login, we can see that we have that appearing in the result label. So this is how we can configure or add text field labels and buttons inside our WinForm, and how we can link those how we can bind a click event against a button inside a WinForm. So that was the first very basic video. We will keep exploring different scenarios for WinForms in this series, and we will link those to real-time examples as well. So that was all for this video. In case of any questions or queries, do ask me in the comments, and see you in the next one.